Well, okay, you know what? Can we get Linus Tech Tips to, like, recreate this and see if it works? Does this help at all? Hyper-cooling the radiator like that? I say hyper-cooling, it's just in front of an air conditioner, but, like, would this help any? I don't think it would. Hey, howdy, hey, that's me, I'm on a yo-yo! You know what that's from. I'm not even gonna pretend like you wouldn't possibly know what that's from. Let's be honest, if you haven't seen Toy Story by now, you're never going to watch it, now are you? Wait, hang on, I didn't have my headphones on. Doesn't really matter, I just like having voice monitoring. You know, a lot of people ask me about voice acting. I swear to God, once you get used to hearing your own voice through perfect voice monitoring with your headphones, life gets a lot easier. What am I looking at now? Technology gore? Oh, for crying out loud. How gory can tech really get? Well, I feel like I'm gonna regret asking that question because it's gonna get really bad, right? My Chromecast. Oh my God, what the hell did you do? And yeah, that is an old Chromecast. That probably tops out at 1080p maximum, and you had to put heat sinks all over it to get it to continue working. I will say, those things did get hot. I've only had a few Chromecasts in my life, because again, they started putting them natively in like all goddamn devices, or the ability to cast so on and so forth natively in all these devices. So I didn't need one past 2016 or 2017, but I do recall them getting really, really, really warm, especially if you watched anything for longer than 5 minutes, which of course you were going to do. If I am casting YouTube to my TV, you better bet I'm sitting down and I'm here for the long haul. We're going on a marathon. I'm gonna watch so many YouTube poops that I'm dead before the playlist ends, you know what I mean? And they get so hot. But I do think that even if this sucker's working still, you might have to put this thing out to pasture. I think it's over. You gotta let it go. Was asked to fix a colleague's laptop and wanted to check the battery. Oh boy. Wait, whoa, hold on. What is it? What am I looking at? Is that just a bunch of cardboard? What is this? I was expecting something to be like ballooning up, about to explode, because that seems to be a pretty common like Omega level battery problem. But what is that? That doesn't look like a battery. I don't think it is. Did someone put whatever that is in there as a replacement? Like, oh, I just keep it plugged in all the time. I don't need a battery. Can't update credit account because birthday doesn't exist. You know, I've never gotten the birthday doesn't exist before, but what I do get quite often is that my name is literally too long to put into any fields. Like when I tried to get verified on TikTok so that I could people could stop causing confusion about who I am and who I play, I couldn't put my name in. I couldn't. They asked for your full name. I couldn't give them my full name. Although when I did submit a support ticket, they were like, oh, well, you don't meet the requirements anyway. No one knows who you are, dude. And then there you go. That was the end of that. But the point was, I can't fit my name in anything. But what is your birthday? All right, I see. Your birthday is October 29th, 2000. Well, as you should know by now, being nearly 25 years old, is that, dude, no one was born in the year 2000. No one was born that day, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but it is what it is. Hopefully you can recover and move forward with this knowledge having bettered you. I really hope this is just software. Oh, no. I'm not exactly sure what is happening, but I don't know. This very well could straight up be your monitor is dying. I mean, I don't know that for sure. I'm no IT professional. I've said it many times before that I couldn't even pass an A+ certification, for crying out loud. And that is like bottom of the barrel knowledge tier for the most part. So I'm not the guy you want to go to when it comes to computer issues or IT of any kind, but I don't know. I hope it's software too. It's just, maybe it's not. Oh my God. My calculator has a stroke? Oh, that is more than watching it die. What the hell happened? E. That's right. E, everybody. E. God, that started to ring in my ears in a really creepy way. Was not a fan of that. I imagine you wouldn't have been a fan of that either, or weren't a fan of that either. Let's move on from the creepy calculator. Apparently, he forgot on his shoulder bag for 3 months. Okay, what the It was on his shoulder bag? Like he just stuck it on there like it was a Velcro patch and left it on? I will say, that is pretty goddamn funny. Like, if you've got a useless CPU that's dead or whatever, who cares about bent pins? Just, like, use that crap as a patch. It's actually really funny, and I never would have thought of something like that. Kinda wish that I did this with my FX 8350. That is like the worst CPU I've ever owned, and I'm pretty sure it's got pins. I'm pretty sure that AMD uses pins and Intel uses the land grid array, right? Land grid array versus pin grid array, whatever. Doesn't matter. This is fun, and I like this. We should turn more old CPUs into like patches and badges and stuff like that. I think that'd be a kind of a fun way to not recycle. Is that considered upcycling? I don't even know. I have one phone and one watch. Ooh, what watch? I'm curious. All right, let's see. Oh my God. All right, you say you have one phone and one watch, but it looks like you have 13 or whatever iPhones and 2 watches. So who's really telling the truth here? Is it Apple? I very much doubt that. That doesn't happen ever. Or is it, you know what? I will trust you, Hunter. Will trust you. But, I mean, you do have an Apple Watch. That kind of sucks. All right, you want Apple Watch is like, I don't know. I'm just not a fan. I'm a big Apple Watch hater. I am. And I've accepted that, and I always will be a big Apple Watch hater. My boss told me to destroy an old hard drive. Now I have coasters. Ooh, that's actually a really fun idea. I like that. I do like that. As long as the drinks don't like slip around the disc, that's fun right there. That is a very unique way of, again, is the term upcycling? You know what? As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna Google it. Upcycle. Let's see what that means. Process of repurposing waste materials into new products that are higher quality or have a new purpose. It is upcycling. Perfect. I'm glad I looked that up. Watch Google be incorrect because it's always incorrect. I'm getting caught up on the wrong things. I'm moving on. I love the coasters though. That's a really cute idea. Something like my mom would do. She's crafty. My phone felt warm, so I checked my temperature. Cold. Your phone's estimated temperature is lower than normal and it may shut down suddenly. Yeah, at minus 117,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which let's see for reference here. So that is about minus 65,000 Celsius roughly or something like that. Again, super rough conversion unless I'm reading that number incorrectly, but it looks like minus 60. Wait, yeah, no, why can't I read numbers anymore? Does anyone know like what that means when you can't read numbers anymore? Never mind. That's cold as shit, dude. Also, probably not possible. You might want to get that phone looked at. Just a recommendation that I am making. Again, I'm not the IT guy, but it feels like it might be warranted in this case. I don't think that's supposed to happen. Frost, what the hell is happening there? Side note about this verification method. Does anybody else find it to be the worst and most obnoxious verification method that has ever been created for the internet? I mean, ever. It's the worst. It's the most annoying. And at random points, it'll make you do 20 of them in a row and you don't know why. They suck. They're stupid. I don't understand. Stop using them. I've seen some very unintuitive verification methods in my life. This is the least intuitive in my opinion, and it shouldn't be because it's, hey, just like select all the squares with a crosswalk in it. And that should be that simple, but it never is. It never works. This image right here is proof that it's a broken piece of shit. 99% of the time, I'm getting mad again. I'm sorry. This is not infuriating, subs. I shouldn't be getting infuriated here. It's just very hard not to get so angry when I see this stupid I'm not a robot. How does this prove it? So you think you've worked on some dirty computers before, eh? Yeah, like my own. Look, I try to dust this sucker out a few times a year at minimum because we live in a house that's dusty as hell and we need to do it. You need to do it too. You owe it to your computer, which is sort of an investment in a lot of ways, to keep it clean, keep it running, filter that dust out of the air, and just take that sucker outside, again, a few times a year at minimum, and blow that shit out. But how nasty is this computer? Well, am I gonna vomit? I might vomit. I just might vomit. See, this is a little bit farther along than dust. This is grime. This is goo. This is a viscous film of shit all over your laptop. It honestly looks like some mold might be growing on it. And if you, like, I know that you might not have an option to use something different. However, you absolutely, as a grown-ass adult, have the option, and as a child too, because children can clean their stuff. That's normal as well. You can just clean this thing. This is so gross. This is nasty. Just get some Clorox wipes, use like 30 of them, and at the very, 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 very least, get some of the insane germ content off of this sucker, because that is gross. Do you have more pictures of this disgusting sight? You don't. Unfortunate? Unfortunate. Dude, that is borderline for me. I would straight up actually reconsider whether or not I'm going to work on it. That is disgusting enough. Does this count? Discharging is it a Bosch or Bosch e-bike battery using an electric heater? You need to, so why do you need to discharge the battery? Huh, yeah, that's, well, that's one way to do it. I am not a tech. I have an e-bike, although my e-bike is one of those ones where the battery's kind of really hard to get at because it's inside the tube of the bike itself, the bike's body. Why do you need to do this? Is it because you're going to replace the cells and repair your own battery, or what exactly? What is going on here and why? Because this feels dangerous. This feels very like, no, duh, this looks dangerous. Don't mess with batteries unless you really, and I mean really, know what you're doing, because it can be super dangerous. You could kill yourself with one of these things, all right? May not seem that way, but it is that way. It can power a heater, at least for a few minutes. Suspicious HDMI cable I found at the bottom of my drawer. A suspicious HDMI cable? I mean, I'd be suspicious of like USB drives and stuff like that, but I don't know how suspicious I would be of a cable like, well, never mind. Now I'm suspicious. If this is what is being sent through it, there might be aliens in a distant galaxy somewhere that just got the green light from you for plugging this sucker in. What the f*** is going on here? What's inside that cable? Piss? How is it transmitting? I gotta know. Okay, maybe I shouldn't know. Maybe if the aliens were contacted and they're on their way, maybe it's best I don't know. I'd rather be surprised than have that anxiety and stress about the impending doom of humanity. I think a lot of us can feel that way. I think I'm addicted. That is... Look, I'm glad your social is down that low. I am glad your social's only at 2.5 hours, and I'm glad that your creativity is up to nearly 5,000 hours, but that's too much entertainment. Look, we all need entertainment, but that is far too much. That's like 6 times more than my highest played game on Steam, man. What are you watching? What the hell could be that entertaining that you're spending damn near 6,000 hours, what, a month, a year, a week, a day? 6,000 hours a day is impressive, man. Yes, I am aware. That is the joke, I promise you. Mexican Airbnb internet. Yes, the yellow cable is fiber. Okay, that is interesting, but I feel like what I'm looking at... Oh, wait, it's fiber. Okay. They coiled and... Yeah, okay, I could see an issue here. They probably, like, you could hear glow stick crackling when they were doing that, right? When they were twisting that cable up and scrunching it and wrapping it around another cable. Fiber optic cable is not the same as all the other cable that we've been so used to for so long. It's not the same. We can't just crunkle that shit up, right? Isn't there like a piece of very fine, like either some kind of plastic or glass or whatever in there? Isn't it only so flexible up to a certain point, and if you snap it, you break it, like fiber no longer no worky no more or something? Am I thinking of the wrong technology? I'm not the smartest bulb in the tool shed, so let me know if I'm wrong. As a matter of fact, if I am incorrect on my assumption as to what fiber optic cable really is, why don't you head on over to either my Blue Sky, xycron.tv, or my Twitter, xycronva, or my YouTube, Robin Nelson, or even my TikTok at xycron. And you know what? Why not? I'll even throw my Instagram in there for good measure at itsboobin. Right, you can go there as well. If I'm wrong, let me know on any and all of these platforms, all at the same time. Bombard me and never let it up, okay? Really keep the pressure on. Typo in word eyes? In what is this? In word, well, gotcha. No, I see what's going on. It's all kinds of messed up. I mean, I see what's going on. It doesn't mean I fully understand what it is that's going on. I guess at the end of the day, that doesn't really matter, though. A few of you guys that are watching this are probably thinking, oh, god damn it. And you understand way better than I do. What could have caused this? LCD melted. It melted? What the hell? That doesn't seem like the type of problem that just happened over years of use. It kind of looks like it was left sitting in the sun or something crazy like that. Because, I mean, look at these keys. They look like they're a little sun-dyed, sun-dried, sun-damaged, whatever you want to call it, right? So it stands to reason that at one point, this laptop, because it's like, 35 years old at this point, was left out way too long, way too many days in a row in direct sunlight. That's my guess. I guess the only other thing that doesn't really match that idea is that the frame around the screen seems to be completely undamaged. It's not sun-bleached in any way, shape, or form as far as I can tell. It's just that screen. So yeah, I'm very curious what could have happened. You know what? Put your theories down below and or do what I said earlier and go to my socials and throw them my way because I am very interested in hearing your theories. Also, damn, what a grandpa of a laptop. Look at that trackpad. It's a ball. Do you guys miss mouse balls? I kind of miss mouse balls. See, the younger generation does not know. We used to have to take those suckers out, clean them with our mouths because that was the appropriate way to do it. It said it in all the manuals. It said it in all the manuals to clean the mouse balls in your mouth. That's how we did it back in the old days, back when we were using horses and carriages to get around. Typical spell checker. But is it actually typical? Or are you just a big baby? Nope, you're right. You're right. Typo in word metal. Replace with metal or metal if you want to really, really enunciate the word. But hey, we're all saying metal, right? Metal. Dude, spell checkers do suck. They really do. They do. Nothing is as quite as annoying, in my opinion, though, as the autocorrect programs that were invented with the modern smartphone era. Like, ever since the iPhone first came out, autocorrect has been doing its best across all devices, all operating systems, to correct more than just your spelling. If I spell a word and I mess up one letter, it will think it is an entirely different word, and I don't get why. But hey, the good news is, at least in my experience, iOS has been a lot better about the word. It stopped telling me that it's ducking or duck a long, long time ago. I think they even mentioned that at one of the Apple, keynotes or whatever the hell they're called. Apple events? Show-offs, stage shows, whatever you want to call them. It doesn't matter. What am I doing? Forgot to remove micro SD when opening dash cam. Oh, how the hell could this have happened? I guess I just can't really visualize what you did here to snap the card in half at all. You know what? I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You goofed. That sucks. And that's actually kind of impressive because those things being super tiny, I feel like they're kind of strong, right? Not insanely so. If you try, you're going to find it's probably pretty easy. But accidentally, I feel like it might be kind of hard to break one of these bastards because it's like the size of your pinky nail, man. They're tiny. Why my motherboard not work? Well, I don't know. Maybe it got pissed off that you called it a motherboard. Or you did this. That could also have been another part of the problem. I don't know. I feel like power supplies do a good job of conditioning the power. And doesn't it also take the AC current and convert it to DC current because this needs DC current, not alternating? I don't know. I know that this is a joke. I just like trying to think a little bit deeper about most of these posts as time goes on to keep my brain a little bit more active. First thing I saw when I landed in Texas. Boot device not found. Please install it. Oh, at the airport. Okay. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what's going on. When it comes to the awesome world of airline travel, it seems to be getting crazier out there. More disregard and disrespect for the goddamn customer than ever before. And I don't think that everything is getting more dangerous. I just think that right now that's what all the media outlets are latching onto more than anything else. So it's becoming it's seeming like it's more often, when in reality, out of every 100,000 flights, we're still getting between 1 and 5 bad crashes or something crazy like that. But I will admit, if I'm walking to or from my plane and I see something like this, I know it's not inherently going to mean something bad for the plane, but it is weird. I'm at a airport. Things should have their boot devices. Where is IT? Oh, that's right. You're probably not paying them anymore, right? This was an email from the United States Postal Service. Oh God, this is going to be great, isn't it? Phone. No. That tracks. That does track. The USPS isn't my favorite. They have more often than not done right by me over the years. I would say when I think of all of the couriers that I can think of off the top of my head, whether it was DHL, FedEx, UPS, USPS, so on and so forth, even On Track, hell, Amazon now that they do their own. USPS, by a slim margin, has been the most reliable in my opinion, for sure. UPS, barely second place. FedEx, all the way down at the bottom. You never know if FedEx is actually going to show up. The amount of times my several $1,000 thing that I have purchased, like, say, my last microphone for our big booth project we did years ago, they just don't even bother knocking on your door. And I know they're overworked and underpaid, but god damn it. It only took 25 photos. What? This action is trying to share 9 centillion camera items, which is not allowed. You can allow this in settings. I don't want to allow that many photos that could or could not exist. I don't want to do that. I'm just saying, I don't want to do it. I don't like it. That's way too many photos. I do actually wonder, if you took one photo, or let's say you took 20 photos every second of every day for the rest of time, how far, how close to this number would you get? I can't say rest of time, rest of your life, not rest of time, because that wouldn't make any fucking sense. But if you were using burst shot 24/7, never stopping until you died, how close would you get to a number this large? I'm guessing you would get nowhere even remotely close. Not even close. You probably wouldn't even pass the billion photo mark at all at any point in time. Not even close. You might pass the 50 million photo mark or something at a certain point. You'd be so far away from this number, it would be freaking crazy. The power cable broke, hospital nurse. What? The what broke? The power cable broke? Is that a power cable? I'm gonna be real with you. I may not know a lot, but I've got a sneaky suspicion I know what a power cable is supposed to look like. And that isn't it. I mean, again, that's just with my limited knowledge. I'm probably wrong. It's very possible that I'm wrong, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Infinite power. Oh, well, really? Oh, power less than 0%. No, you're right. You're right. Infinite power. You've got one of the few smartwatches on planet Earth that finally got the infinite power update. So, you're all good to go. I will say, to this day, the only watch you're never going to beat is Pebble. I actually had a few of you guys come to my Twitter and Blue Sky and whatnot when Google finally let the Pebble OS go open source. A lot of you guys remembered that I'm a Pebble enthusiast and came knocking down my door, and I do appreciate it. But don't worry, I am in the know and I am following very closely. I'm following that project like a hawk. These prices are getting outrageous. You're telling me, dude, that's outrageous for everything. I gotta be a millionaire to go get some eggs now. Side of fries, let's see here. A kid-sized fries is, well, this might be the weirdest sales tactic I've ever seen in my life. Sure, I could eat fewer calories and get $1,200 poorer, or I could just get a large and save thousands of dollars. Okay, not thousands of dollars, but I could save a ton of money just to upsize. This is kind of like the supersize back in the day, where, you know, you could supersize it for 2 cents, except in this particular case, they're, I don't know. It almost feels like some kind of reverse psychology, if you will. Someone asked if this is repairable. Oh, this is gonna be great. Whoa. What the hell is that? Did it sit in the ocean for 10 years? What is this? I mean, actually, what is it, though? I mean, obviously, it's not repairable. There's no shot in hell this thing is repairable, but what is it? I have no clue what it could be. It's not like a laptop. I'm never gonna know. It looks like it might be the computer system for a car or something, but I got no clue. The people have spoken. Okay, yeah. This continues to show me that AI text models and generative AI programs are totally useful. They're totally good and totally helpful. They're not going to be the downfall of creativity and the forests and our water supply at all. This is the stuff that we're spending quadrillions of gallons of water on every 5 seconds. Oh, woohoo! I was just sleeping, guys. 196. Okay. I really hoped that this wasn't what your heart rate was while you were asleep. I'm hoping that it was just, obviously it was. I think your body would have woken you up if your heart rate was that high while you were asleep, because at that point, aren't you about to die? Like, aren't you about to have some kind of heart attack or something if you're at 196 or over 200 while you're sleeping? This is the sort of thing right here, by the way, that gives me such intense hypochondria. It really is. If I ever saw something like this, I would start freaking out and assuming that I'm gonna die soon. Just SolidWorks being SolidWorks. Man, now that is a name I haven't heard in a long time. I actually have used and learned SolidWorks in the past. When I took woodshop, we did learn this. I was actually surprised to see that rather than just working with power tools and making clocks, we were actually learning. It's a CAD program, is that right? SolidWorks? I don't know. Either way, this feels about right. And I think it's amazing just how often the industry standard programs are the worst by far. It's kind of like me as a Premiere user. Awful. I took a photo of your mom? Your mom motherboard? Motherboard from Cyberchase? Removable storage, 127 terabytes. Good God. On a Canon PowerShot? Holy, where'd you get that camera, boy? This is meaningless. That is true. That is very true. Hang on, let me, I'm gonna open up my phone real quick and see what I got. Right, I don't think I have the clock. Oh, no, there it is. Nope, right on time. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to. I'd be a little upset if it ever looked like that. Not that I am looking at the clock icon from the clock app to get the time, but it's software. There's no reason it shouldn't be working, right? Software's always got your back. Imagine having that much VRAM. Oh, whoo, yeah, you could play anything literally forever. You could play like every single game straight off the goddamn VRAM alone. Oh man, what card is this? I'm curious. Look, the 5000 series is the most embarrassing launch in NVIDIA's history, even though it probably sent their stock price up or whatever, because AI. Oh, it's so bad. The only reason I would ever consider going from my 4090 Strix card to a 5090 of any kind is just to get the 32 gigs of VRAM over the 24. And you know what? The most I've ever used of the 24 is like 16 of it. And I think that was maxing out Alan Wake 2 on all fronts. No improvement other than that I can see on that goddamn card. Did my phone start generating Wi-Fi? It might actually be doing just that. Well, you just weren't on Wi-Fi at all that month, were you? User gets points for trying. Huh. You know what? They do get points for trying. They do. That's the sort of shit I would try in desperation. You know we've all been there to a certain degree, right? Where you've got an old monitor, you've got new hardware, you don't have the right cables. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't have the right cables, so you try to Frankenstein some shit together to see that maybe there's a chance, but there never really is there? It's all over.